from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
We have new information as we begin tonight with the names of the people involved in that deadly crash west of Grand Forks last night.
3 men from Grand Forks were killed in the crash: 39-year-old Jason Beaupre, 41-year-old Gary Voller, and 66-year-old William Joyner. 7 more people were hurt. 6 of them were from Grand Forks, including the driver of the van, and a young man from Hatton was also hurt. Officials with All True Hospital said last night they had 6 people in their care. One of the people injured was transferred to another location, but they were not able to give us an update on that person's condition.
Now, 3 airmen from the Grand Forks Air Force Base were some of the first on scene after the crash. Airmen Joshua Crankshaw, Lucky Talmadge, and Brian McNern worked together at the base. In an exclusive interview, they told us they were driving back when they noticed the overturned car and multiple people hurt. They jumped out of the car and offered first aid until emergency responders could get there.
As soon as I saw it, my training kicked in that the Air Force has given me, and I was just ready. You know, I got out of the vehicle, I went there, I looked at the scene, and started moving forward with what needs to be accomplished.
You're trying to find out if there's any severe bleeding and things like that, things that need to be stopped immediately.
Crankshaw was wearing sandals. He cut his foot trying to help the others. He was treated at the hospital because other blood and vomit got into his cut.
A Detroit Lakes bicyclist is fighting for his life after being hit by a vehicle in Becker County. It happened last night on County Road 124 near the intersection of County Road 129 West. Tuesday night, the Becker County Sheriff's Office received a 911 call of a crash involving a car colliding with a pedestrian on County Road 124. When emergency crews arrived on scene, they discovered the vehicle involved in the crash had left the scene. The victim in the crash has been identified as 44-year-old Jared Moran of Detroit Lakes. Police say he was taken to Essentia Hospital in Fargo. Anyone with information about the incident is asked to contact law enforcement.
A Fargo woman was arrested last night for driving drunk with a baby in the back seat. Deputies say 36-year-old Amber Douglas was 4 times over the legal limit. Douglas was reportedly driving erratically along County Road 17 north of Horace. Besides DUI, while accompanied by a minor, she was also charged with aggravated reckless endangerment. The baby was unharmed and is with the father.
It's nice to see that the chances for stormy weather moved on for most of the valley today. It paved the way for Hutch to catch up with another Wednesday backyard barbecue. Hutch?
Indeed it has, Andrea, and it's been a dandy out here. The sun, well, it's pretty warm as things are really heating up in the afternoon into the 80s here in the FM area. The wind, which was gusting over 20 miles per hour in the late afternoon, has settled down a pinch. Let's take a look at those wind speeds across the region. Right now we're seeing most of those winds from the south with a few gusts that are a little more potent up to the north, but generally 5 to 15 miles per hour. Look at that. Calm in Fargo. Here's a look at that radar, and boy, it was stormy early in the day, but this afternoon things have really pushed out of the region, and it is quiet for now. Showers in and around the Lake of the Woods area and International Falls. A couple of green blips showing up not far from Mayville. Can't rule out a spotty thunder shower as we go through the evening, but by and large, the vast majority of us will see the 70s by later this evening. Light and variable winds, just a few clouds, and temperatures in the 60s. I want to introduce you to tonight's Cashwise Backyard Barbecue winner. It's Les Wang. Les, where did you sign up to win?
West Fargo Cashwise.
Very good. Now, you had a wonderfully large group of people here, but it's thinned out a little bit. Was it all family and friends?
All family and friends, yeah.
Very good. Now, was it real hard to get this all together, or?
No, it was pretty simple, but by golly, it was very good.
Good. Well, thanks for the hospitality, and you can get into your local Cashwise. Go back to the meat department, sign up there. It'll be a good time if we can come on over to your backyard for a Cashwise Backyard Barbecue. For now, we'll toss it back into the air-conditioned studios.
All right, thanks so much, Hutch.
A West Fargo woman receives a Habitat for Humanity house and is now named in a national health care fraud takedown.
She's among 11 people who have been charged with stealing almost $9 million through overbilling and submitting false claims.
Valley News Team's Bradford Eric tells us the woman just got out of jail.
Tanette Latrice Brackens is just a month shy of her 32nd birthday. And 2 days ago, the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office reports she was released on bail, facing 9 charges, including racketeering and theft by swindle. According to Lake Agassiz Habitat for Humanity, Brackens received one half of this twin home in February 2012. We went to the West Fargo address listed for Brackens, knocking twice on the door. Nobody answered, but lights were on inside and children were running around. I talked with a woman living next door who says Tanette Brackens is generally a good neighbor and their kids are friends. But she says she just learned of the investigation a few days ago and hasn't seen Brackens in about a week. I've reached out to Lake Agassiz Habitat for Humanity, asking if a situation like this could mean Brackens loses her home. Calls and emails have gone unanswered, and the only thing we've been able to find out is that a prior or pending embezzlement or fraud conviction could disqualify someone during the application process for a new home. Bradford Eric, Valley News Live.
According to Hennepin County, Brackens is due back in court the end of July.
The North Dakota Highway Patrol arrested a man this afternoon for riding his bicycle while drunk after he caused a crash near the Red River Bridge. 58-year-old Larry Olson was arrested for operating the bicycle under the influence of alcohol. About 1:45 p.m., the Minnesota State Patrol got a call about a bicyclist riding eastbound on I-94 on the bridge. Moments later, one vehicle rear-ended another while trying to avoid hitting Olson. There were no injuries. Olson is being held at the Cass County Jail.
A teenager is dead and a Minnesota truck driver is facing a criminal vehicular homicide charge. Prosecutors say 35-year-old Jason Vadner was driving too fast for conditions on April 13th when he crossed the center line. On State Highway 210, it happened near Vining and struck the victim head on. Jacob Quam, a 16-year-old sophomore at Henning High School, was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators do say heavy fog likely contributed to the crash, and Vadner admitted he was having trouble seeing the lane lines.
A Minnesota woman is dead and 4 children hurt after a crash on I-94 involving a Fargo man last night in Stearns County. It happened around 8:30 near Clearwater, Minnesota. Troopers say a pickup driven by 20-year-old Wyatt Richards of Fargo was heading west on I-94 when he rear-ended an SUV. The SUV went into the right ditch and rolled, killing the driver, 37-year-old Melissa Ali of St. Cloud. The 4 kids in the SUV, ranging in age from 6 to 15, were taken to a hospital, but they are all expected to be okay. Richards was not hurt.
If you have smart toys in your home, there are a couple of things you should do to keep them from snooping on your kids. The FBI issued a rare warning that they could be putting your children at risk, possibly stealing their identity. The FBI recommends that you only use Wi-Fi that's secure, use a strong password, or a PIN code when connecting through Bluetooth. Research that specific toy and then know and where they store their data and who has access to it. And maybe most importantly, when it's not being played with, turn off the toy completely.
I didn't know that they could do that. I think that's really creepy, to be quite honest. I think as long as there's a parent involved helping the kids sign up, but I don't know. I personally do. I'm just give them color crayons and they're fine.
Now, the FBI warning does not mention any specific toy makers, but says parents to do their part to keep kids safe.
West Fargo wants you to take the time to visit their city. Later on Valley News Live at 6, what's planned that developers say will be worth the extra effort to stop by.
But coming up next, it's live from the Cashwise Backyard Barbecue, your forecast from the Sandbox. Details on a hot weekend ahead right after this.